everyone. I hope everyone is good. Welcome back. So I just wanted to briefly talk about migration, particularly when it comes to Africans migrating to the West, migrating to Europe, America, Australia, all those kind of places. I'm a little confused here. Um, I read a study that was done in 2018 by United Nations and UNICEF, and they brought in all these great minds together to really talk about migration. And somebody on there wrote something that was really interesting that attracted my attention. And he was talking about the fact that there's all these young people, young African people, who crossed the Mediterranean Sea to go take their chances of a better life, better jobs, and all of that in Europe, Spain, and all those places. And unfortunately, a lot of them get caught in the waters, they get hurt, or they die. And the news recently, in recent years, has really been dominated by these boats that have been found stranded with bodies, including even babies, women, young girls, babies, a lot of young men. In the hope, all of this is they crossing over in a hope of a better life, because in many parts in Africa, there are serious economic issues. There are issues with our governments, unfortunately, who are not taking really good care of their people, and so there are no jobs. Development is really delayed, or development is not really taking place at the speed that it should. So it's really worrying when I'm reading the study and I see that they're talking about we need to have reforms, about government reforms on how to deal with migration. They've been talking about this for a long time, but nothing has ever really been done. There's nothing effective that has been done in regard to this. But anything that has been done is really to stop these people from migrating. That's what we've seen. In fact, just last week, or was it this week, when in the news it was seen that the Greek government took a whole bunch of migrants, young African people, including children, and went and abandoned them in the middle of the sea. And there are images of a lot of these guys are stranded, not even in a boat, not even in the boat. And I'm starting to think about, we have been talking for too long, the United Nations and many other organizations that are supposed to be there to aid these communities, all they ever do is talk. A lot of talk, no action. What do we do as a community? What ideas can we put together to try and address this issue and push the authorities to really look at tangible reforms and really start acting on this? I was thinking about this, and it's really frustrating to think that it's so hard for Africans to migrate. It's so hard just to simply get a visa for a place. It's so hard that if you have the right qualifications and you can be a key contributor to an economy, you have all your documentations or qualification to prove that you could be such a great contributor, but it's always a problem, an issue. Why is it such a problem? Some people may say, yeah, but go make your home a better place instead of coming to overpopulate or fill the gaps in our system or taking our jobs away and so on and so forth. But last time I really checked, a lot of these migrants are actually key contributors to a lot of the economies. I know a lot of migrants in all these different countries, and I know a lot of them who are taxpayers, who are doctors that are saving lives, who applied for jobs that you, people in the West, approved and hired them, obviously for a reason, because you saw that they did fit the criteria, the requirements. Because you saw that, that's why you did what you did. You opened the door to the jobs. But it's so hard for people like myself to just travel without any issue. For any African to migrate, even if it was just to move for, temporarily, you can prove that you're only there for a couple of weeks. I'm a living testament of that. They will give you a hard time. You can say all you want to say about it, but it's a huge problem for us to migrate, but it was so easy for the Western to come into Africa and do whatever they want in Africa. And yet we make it easy. We're not having a problem with that. From the initial stage when the Western people will come in, by force, first of all, when we start comparing the two pictures, something doesn't match here. There's something wrong with the picture. Africans going to Europe or to America or to Australia, they're given a hard time or they're being denied. But then over this side, Europeans coming into Africa, they don't even need a visa. Most Europeans do not need a visa. Americans do not need a visa in most part of Africa. They can literally just, somebody can wake up in the morning, take a flight, land anywhere in Africa, land in South Africa, and they stamped in. They didn't have to walk up and down, go to the embassy, get the right requirement list, apply, wait for a week or two. They didn't have to, they don't usually have to do this. Apart from the fact that, first of all, initially they forced their entry and caused a lot of atrocities. That's the initial part. And now they were making it easy. And but we, the Africans, are having a hard time. And also bearing in mind that a lot of the structure, the infrastructure in these countries where the migrants are running to with the hope of a better life, they are built from our resources. People can deny all they want. We will do research together if you want. And in fact, one of the things that I'll talk about later, I'll come up with some proof to show you that a lot of the structure that you are working on, that you are enjoying in these Western parts, and you're claiming that it is yours and Africans are there to just take over and they're there to take away the jobs. It's actually our sweat, the sweat of our forefathers, actually just like our current sweat, because the economies of African countries are going astray because they have to compromise with the West. It's built on your cell phones, the content of your cell phones, it's coming from our place. You're proud of your cell phones, of your technology, but without the resource that is put in your cell phones, we would not have the cell phones that we have today. And we can go on and search up a whole bunch of different things that you are benefiting from the resources of Africa by force in the West, by force. But yet we're making it easy for you to walk in any way you want, anyhow, anytime. We need to start seriously considering changing the ways we're treating Africans that are migrating to the West. We need to do that because it is about time that you acknowledge that you are enjoying our resources, depriving us, and on top of that, the leaders of these Western societies are allowing many people in their communities to abuse the Africans, to be racist toward Africans, even though the very cell phone that they're holding in their hands is carried by the sweat of African people. You can say our politicians are not doing that job. Fine, they're not doing their jobs. But if we start looking behind the scenes of what is really happening, it's another story for another time, which I will do some investigation on and I'll speak about another time. But it is time that the Western society open doors and acknowledge that they're enjoying their wealth because of us, and not throw a bunch of migrants that are simply looking for a better life, which is not a crime, in the middle of the sea and allowing people to die, including children. I don't know what you think about this, but this is my thoughts and I strongly stand on it. Have a good day.